Before we start this ballet class, you should put your hair in a bun. While spinning, dancers use the technique of spotting to keep them in a straight line. Without having their hair in a bun, it will whip around their head and acts as an unbalanced force. Newton's first law says an object in motion will stay in motion unless acted on by an unbalanced force. So without the dancer's hair being pulled up, it could affect the way they spin. When you begin this dance, you will be motionless. This means that all of the net forces acting on the body are zero. You are only able to remain motionless if there is a vertical supporting force equal to your body weight. Now we will either go into fourth position or fifth position. A plie is when you bend your knees in order to apply vertical force in an upward direction. When a dancer plies, he or she is increasing the time of impact or decreasing acceleration. This move is also used when you land from a leap. Newton's first law applies here because the dancer will stay in motion, which is the object, until she hits the ground, which is the unbalanced force. From the plie, we will then do an arabesque. This is when the supported leg is vertical and the other is extended behind. This requires a lot of balance, which comes from the center of gravity that lies on a perfectly vertical line passing through the body to the supporting area of the floor. While spinning, the gravity will create balance so the dancer does not fall. From the arabesque, we will go into a spin. Newton's first law says that an object in motion that is rotating will not stop rotating unless acted on by an unbalanced force. Also, rotational inertia depends on the distribution of the mass of the dancer that is relative to the axis rotation. If there is a greater distance between the dancer and the axis of rotation, there will be more rotational inertia. To spin faster, you need to pull your arms in while spinning to have less rotational inertia. Finally, we will learn the grand jet. It is a jump combined with projectile motion, or in other words, a traveling leap. This begins with an initial velocity, which will decrease as the dancer rises into the air until its velocity reaches zero. Its velocity will reach zero when it is at maximum height. Also, to jump off of the ground, the dancer has to exert a downward force greater than her weight. The height of a jump is based on the downward vertical distance where the force is put off. If he or she jumps at a 90-degree angle, they will go the highest possible height. If he or she jumps at a 45-degree angle, they will go the furthest possible distance. Through this entire dance lesson, there is a force of friction, which is the force that keeps us standing without slipping. It is a horizontal force pulling across the floor while gravity pulls down into the floor and the dancer's foot is pulling upward out of the floor. If your foot is stationary on the ground, a large horizontal friction force is possible, but when the foot is moving, the potential force is much smaller.